Hello and welcome to another video. Hi Bracken. I'm in a different location. I'm in my living room today and I have got Bracken joining me. She will most likely be no help whatsoever. You go away please. Yeah, she is just basically bouncing and being in the way, knocking over my stacks of books that are next to me here. So today, I'm coming today with both my 2023 goals and also my 23 priority reads, my 23 and 23. I'm going to just kick Puppy off said sofa, stay there. So, that didn't work. Starting off with my goals. So I've split my goals into a couple of different sections. So I'm going to start off with my reading goals. So reading goal number 1, get my TBR down. So everyone says this every single year, well aware of that. I say this every single year. But I did a massive unhaul just before Christmas, and I've actually added even more books to that. So I've actually unhauled, I think, about 80 books, and I've got my TBR down to 349 books, which is good. So my goal is to get my TBR under 300. I'm quite happy having a big TBR. I don't mind having a big TBR, but my issue that I find is I have a weakness for charity shops. I'll go in there, I'll buy a book, I'll see a book that I recognise the title of and I'll be like, oh, I've seen that online. I might have literally seen one person speak about it. I'll end up buying it and then never read it. And I think what's happening at the moment as well is my reading tastes are changing. I'm not reading as much YA anymore. I'm reading a lot more adult contemporary romance. Yet I still, because I've read YA for so long, especially YA fantasy, they're the titles that I recognise and they're the titles that I tend to kind of get excited by, I guess. So if I see them in a charity shop, I will buy them because I'm like, oh, that's going to be a really good book. I'll buy that. Yet it then sits on my shelf for ages. So I'm going to try and not do that so much. And I'm going to try and get my TBR down to be under 300. My second goal is currently reading series. Currently reading or currently not up to date with 40 series. And I want to get that number to be below 30. I'm well aware that I'm going to be starting at least 3 series this year. Hopefully I'm going to be finishing a few, but I know that number is going to go up before it goes down. But yes, I want to at the very least get myself caught up. So there are a lot of series that I'm currently reading that I can't finish because the final books aren't out yet, but I want to get myself caught up at the very least, and then I would count them as sort of done. I'm not currently reading them. And then my third goal is to read at least one Read the World book each month. So my Read the World challenge, where I read a book from every country in the world. This is going. It's not going well. I think I read 10 books in 2022, which was not enough. And I'm well aware this challenge is going to take me multiple years, especially seeing as I'm not even currently reading one a month. Now, I want to read more than that, and I'm hoping that that should be doable. I've got a video project planned where I'll be reading a Read the World book and cooking a Read the World dish each month. So hopefully, well, that would mean I will at least be reading one Read the World book, if not more. This really is a way for me to kind of try and diversify my reading, read books that aren't just by British or American authors, get more authors of colour in, more own voices, and yeah, just read different books by different people, really. So those are my 3 reading goals for 2023. I have got, Bracken, get off there, a very annoying puppy. I have got some personal goals. So my personal goals include skincare. I'm trying to get much better with my skincare and actually do my skincare routine every day. Exercise more. So I've got down like exercise minimum once a week. I had originally put it down as run once a week, but there are definitely times when I just don't want to go running. So I've changed it to just exercise once a week. I can get off the sofa. And then my last personal goal is to do with weight loss. I'm not going to say how heavy I am now or what my target weight is, but I do want to lose some weight. The other goals I've got are to do with YouTube. So obviously I've only just started my channel. Again, this is really just a channel for me. I'm not expecting to blow up and be huge or anything. But I have got a couple of kind of goals with YouTube. I'm hoping to upload twice a week. One of those uploads would be a vlog, either themed or just a standard reading vlog. Leave it. And one will be more of a sit-down video. So I'm hoping that I can carry that on throughout 2023. Okay, so they are my goals section of the video done. Now on to the priority reads, and this quite enormous stack next to me is slightly scary as well, especially when I look at the size of the books I've got in here. 23 books in 2023. These are my priority reads. These are a mix of series of books that I'm just excited by, books that have been on priority lists before. There's a length of time that they've been on the TBR as well, so it is a complete mix. But I'm going to start with the pile that's nearest to me, which actually is propping up quite a lot of other piles, so I'm not going to start with that one. I'm going to start with this pile here. These aren't really in any order. I kind of vaguely ordered them like by genre. I don't really know why. But the first pile is the slightly romantic books. So the first priority read that I'd like to get to in 2023 is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This one, I've not read any Emily Henry before. I hear really, really great things. I did start reading this one on audiobook. I think I got 2 chapters in and just got distracted with doing other stuff. So I do want to read this one. This is a literary agent and an editor, enemies to lovers, and I thought actually that this is the one where they swap writing styles, but it's clearly not. I think that's Beach Read actually. Either way, and Emily Henry and Book Lovers is the one that I've chosen. My next one is Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I read Circe a few years ago and it was fine. I think I gave it 3 stars. I didn't love it, but I just found it quite slow. I remember I read it for Magical Readathon, and I always go all out for Magical Readathon, so I was reading a lot of books that month. I think it was in 2020 as well, so I think I was probably aiming for like about 20-25 books, because it was 2020, it was COVID, there was literally nothing else to do in April. But Song of Achilles I have not yet got to. I would like to read it this year. It is the story of, it's a Greek myth retelling story of Achilles and Patroclus, can't pronounce that, and is a male-male romance, which I'm excited by. Next I've got The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. So I've seen the film for The Hating Game and actually I quite liked it. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking, but I enjoyed it, it was fun. I know this is one of Becca from Becca in the Books' favourite books, and I thought, yeah, I want to read it. Next I've got Lovely War by Julie Berry. So I've seen a few people read this one. This is a book that I originally saw on Hayley and Bookland's channel, and I think Literary Lily has also read it and loved it. It's a World War I story told Aphrodite and Ares, I think, but it looks really good. I'm excited by it. This is also just the floppiest book, which is very exciting. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to read it and hopefully I'll get to it this year. And then the last on the kind of romance ones is Ghosts by Dolly Alderton. This one is a contemporary about a sort of 30-something lady who I think is just being, yeah, in her 30s and single and what do you do, which is, hi, it's me. I've heard a lot of really good things about this. I know Beth from Books Nest adores this book, and yeah, I'm excited to read it. So the next section I think I'm going to get to is the smallest of the sections I've got here, which is the YA books. So I've got Baby Love by Jacqueline Wilson. I love Jacqueline Wilson. Not even a guilty pleasure, I just love Jacqueline Wilson. And this is her newest book. It is, I believe it is a YA. It's got to be YA. And it is about a teenage mum who is sent away to have a baby, and presumably that baby is then taken away from her as well. So the main character is 14. So I'm saying kind of, yeah, younger end of YA, but I just love Jacqueline Wilson. I'm excited to read this. Next, I've got Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. This is the absolutely stunning Fairy Loot edition. I don't know why I haven't read this one yet. I'm a little bit apprehensive because it sounds like the sort of YA that I either eat up and adore or I really dislike. It will go one of two ways. I feel like it's either going to be a 5-star or 2-star for me. So a little bit apprehensive, but excited still. And then I've also got Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. This is, I believe this one is a sort of spin-off from the These Violent Delights duology, because I believe it follows Rosalind, who's one of the characters in These Violent Delights. So it has LGBTQ plus rep, and yeah, it's set in Shanghai in the 1930s. Or is this one at a different date? Yeah, 1930s Shanghai. Don't want the dog chewing my Kindle. 1930s Shanghai, and follows some mafia families. So excited by this one. I loved These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends, so I'm excited by this one. I reckon you're not actually a lap dog. You gonna settle there? Good girl. Okay, the next section is the biggest pile of books I've got, which are the adult kind of fantasy books. So we've got, first of all, The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This was on my 12 books, 12 friends for last year. This was on my 22 and 22 list. Did I read it? No, I didn't. So I'd like to get to it this year. It is a Russian folklore-inspired story, and I hear really, really great things about it from everyone. I've got Jade City by Fonda Lee. This one is book 1 in the Greenbone saga. I just hear so many good things about this book that I am very excited to read it. It's a adult high fantasy. It follows, I believe, 2 warring kind of mafia families in the battle for Jade, which gives people magical powers. I don't really know. Next up, I was going to say the biggest beast. Technically, yes, but also possibly not. Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I am scared of this one. First of all, it's 5 billion pages long. Secondly, I have started reading it before and I got 150 pages in. See this bit? Barely making a dent, 150 pages in. And I put it down. I was bored. I have tried reading this one physically. I've tried reading it on ebook. I have the audiobook, although I haven't yet tried reading it on audio. I'm very, very scared. One of my friends, Char, was reading this one recently and DNF'd. She said it just was so slow, it was boring, and that's the problem that I had with it as well, is it was just so slow I couldn't get into it. So very scared about this one. However, if I do read it, or if I do start reading it and decide to DNF, it will free up a hell of a lot of space, because I mean this is bigger than my head. Find some space for the enormous books. Vicious by V. Schwab. This is a really, really ugly cover, but this one has been on my TBR for it's one of the oldest books on my TBR. This one also was on my 12 books, 12 friends last year. It was on my 22 books in 2022. I did not read it. it is probably the V. Schwab book that I'm most excited by. I really liked Addie LaRue and Gallant when I read them. However, with both of them, I gave them both 5 stars at the time. Both of them, I feel like I've forgotten all about them kind of, 2 months later, so they never stuck with me. I read A Dark Shade of Magic last year and I liked it, but I felt that I was too late to the party. I'm kind of over the YA fantasy, so it just wasn't doing anything special for me. So I'm hoping that Vicious is going to be a little bit more my cup of tea. I'm hoping. Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I have heard nothing but amazing reviews for this book. I'm so excited to read it. I'm also terrified. I've not heard anything but positive about it, and it just kind of makes me nervous of what if I'm the exception and I'm the only person that doesn't love this book to pieces. So I'm going to read it. It is on my January TBR. It will be read, but I am quite scared about it. Continuing with the adult fantasy, the next stack's quite heavy. So when I said that Priory is kind of the biggest book, it may not be in page count because I'm also putting on Ship of Magic, which when you put them next to each other looks tiny, but is actually probably page count about the same. Ship of Magic, book 1 in the Live Ship Traders trilogy by Robin Hobb. I read and really liked the first trilogy by Robin Hobb. I have high hopes for this one. I hear really, really good things about this trilogy. I'm excited by it. However, Robin Hobb intimidates me because the books are ridiculously huge. So I'm hoping to get to this trilogy, but I just read them very slowly. The third book in the last trilogy, Assassin's Quest, I think it took me 3 months to read that one book. So yeah, I expect this trilogy will probably, I need a couple of months break between reading Robin Hobb books, I've found. Unless this one's different and it's more fast-paced. Don't know. Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. So again, this book has been on basically every single list. It is on my self-destruct books of 2023, which is really scary, which is also why it's on this one. I really want to get to this book. I loved Cerulean Sea. I really want to read it. I just, similarly to Tomorrow, I have such high hopes that I put it off. So yeah, I want to get to this one. This is about a guy who dies and goes to this coffee shop and has to like reconcile with his death in his life. I don't know. I've not read it. We've got The Final Strife by Sarah El Arifi. This one sounds really good. So I've seen Becca from Becca in the Books has recently read this one and really liked it. I believe there is some fat phobia in it, so content warnings, and there is things like mutilation as well, but it sounds like a kind of adult fantasy that I'm going to be excited by, so this one, hyped. Then the last of the fantasy books is A Marvellous Light by Freya Mask. I have no idea what this book is about. It came in an Illumicrate, I think, in 2021. It sounds really good. My friend Zuzanna absolutely adores it and has been telling me to read it. So, Sue, this one's for you. Hopefully I will get to these ones now. And then the last pile I've got here are the kind of thrillers, crimes and other bits. So, first of all, Richard Osman, The Bullet That Missed. This is the third book in the Thursday Murder Club series. I absolutely adored books 1 and 2. This one is on my January TBR. I'm going to be reading it next week for Final Book Support Group, and also because I need to give it to my mum in a couple of weeks, so I want to get it read before I don't get it back for 6 months. I love Richard Osman. His writing is fantastic. I'm very, very excited for this book. Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. I don't really read horror, and I've not read anything by Catriona Ward. So this one does slightly intimidate me. However, everyone I know who's read this has adored it. It was Naomi from Tandem's favourite book of 2020, I think. She's been telling everybody to read it. I know Beth from Books Nest read it recently and loved it. I'm very excited. I'm quite nervous, but I'm also excited. So hopefully I will get to this one. Most likely in October. Let's, do the spooky season thing. 5 Survived by Holly Jackson. This is Holly Jackson's newest book. I loved Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I'm very excited for this one. I believe it takes place over 8 hours, and is a group of kids in an RV being shot at by a sniper, and presumably only 5 of them survive. But yeah, I'm excited. I feel this is going to be a good one for a readathon where I can just literally blast through it, and yeah, should be good. I have high hopes for Holly Jackson. I really like her writing. Then got The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I really liked the Hunting Party and The Guest List by Lucy Foley, so I'm excited for The Paris Apartment. I know this one is probably, I'm guessing it's a fairly similar kind of setup with the 5 or 6 main characters and you don't know who's done it. I think this one is a little bit different because it's not really a murder mystery, because we don't know if anyone is murdered yet, but yeah, I'm excited for this one. I've then got Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. This one I'm a little bit nervous about. The cover is beautiful. This is an exclusive edition and it's just really, really gorgeous. It's also the synopsis really intrigues me. It is a And Then We Were None retelling, and I'm excited by that. However, reviews have not been great. I know Meg from Meg with Books read this and hated it, so a little bit nervous, but also I want to read it. And then the last book number 23, is slightly different to everything else. It is The Ship Beneath the Ice by Menson Bound. This is a non-fiction about the discovery of Shackleton's Endurance, which is the ship that Shackleton sailed to the South Pole in, and it's sunk and has been underneath the ice in Antarctica since then, so for about 100 years, and it's been recently raised. I love travel. I love travel writing. I have a fascination with Antarctica. I really, really want to go there. It is the only continent that I have not yet visited. So I am so excited to read this book. It is quite a chunky non-fiction, and I don't actually read very much non-fiction at all. Last year I was trying to read one non-fiction a month and I gave up on that around about April. I think I read about 5 non-fictions last year in total, so this might take me a few months to get through, but don't chew my books! Are you pain? She just chewed the corner of Daughter of the Moon Goddess. It's fine, you can't really see it. I will... Grrr. So was I? Yes, The Ship Beneath the Ice. I'm very excited to read this one. It is probably going to be one of the very few non-fictions I will read in 2023. I always do try and read non-fictions when I can, but I'm just not a non-fiction girly. I'm just not. I like to read to escape the world that is absolutely chaos, so yeah, but I do want to get to this one. Okay, and that is my 2023 goals and 23 and 23 books to read, my priority reads for next year. Apologies for the incredibly chaotic video with many Bracken interruptions. If you have got this far, leave me the dog emoji as a little nod to the fact that Bracken has been chewing my books. If you have read any of these books, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you think any are worth me even more prioritising and getting to quickly. And yeah, let me know if you've set any goals yourself next year for this year. And other than that, I will see you in the next one. Bye.